So when you think of the Nissan Murano, you probably think of it the same way I do. It's kind of a mid-size crossover SUV, something that most people who are looking to get into an SUV, but they don't want to go too large, they don't want to go too small, and they want something that's going to have a lot of styling to it, something that's going to have a very muscular, modern feel. And I think the folks at Nissan have accomplished that with this new 2025 Nissan Murano. The specific package in front of me is the Platinum package. I love how they have the low profile LED headlights. I don't see any fog lights on here, but they do have some really nice LED accent lights right here, as well as a backlit Nissan logo. And you can see the dark accent panel here in the center. A lot of the design elements here were designed to really give this more of a muscular, sporty feel. And it kind of reminds me of a Lexus RX in terms of overall styling and its overall shape. The wheels themselves are probably going to be a bit, I'm going to say, a bit controversial for some folks, right? Some people like a very simple designed wheel. Some people like a very complex. This definitely leans more towards complex. They're wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza tires. You can see the roof line is absolutely pronounced. They've done a contrasting dark tone roof line, which sweeps back and kind of gives you kind of a fishtail approach right here. As we come around to the back, you have a really nice integrated LED light bar all the way across the back. Then you also have your parking sensors on the front and back. They've lowered the license plate much lower than it used to be. It used to be right here. They've dropped it down here. They wanted to give you this really elegant back panel or back liftgate area. And something you probably can't see is a rear windshield wiper blade. Not because it doesn't have one, but because they've integrated underneath the spoiler in the back. So it's hidden and out of the way, and it's not blocking the window. And it looks really, really nice and, again, hidden. And it's right up here. It's actually tucked way under here. Again, really, really bold, aggressive stance. Nice muscular rear fenders right here. You can see how they've kind of arched them and bulged them out. And then you can see the nice accent line coming all the way back right here, which blends into the door. It has a really elegant look to it overall. And I think that this design is going to appeal to a lot of folks who are looking for that mid-size crossover SUV. And because it's 2 inches wider than its predecessor, it actually gives you a really kind of low to the ground, yet wide stance. If you see one of these in person, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. And those extra 2 inches will definitely benefit the interior space as well. Okay, so I've turned on the lights so you can see what they look like. The headlights were on, but the rear accent light had turned off. Key fob in hand. We have a lift gate that I should just need to kick underneath here to open. Of course, you can utilize the button that's on there as well. And then you have the ability to lock the lift gate into a preset position. In here, you have a good amount of rear hatch space. Underneath here is likely your spare. You got a full-size spare, which is also really nice. You got your scissor jack right there, and then you got storage on each side and on the edges as well. The seats can drop down by simply flipping these up to give you more storage space if you need it. And this gives you a good amount of storage space. I mean, if you're looking for an SUV that is going to give you the utility aspect of SUV in a crossover package, this is going to give you a lot of extra space back here with the seats folded down. You could carry quite a bit, probably some relatively large furniture in here as well. Just press that button to close it. And I'll put these seats up real quick, but one thing you can see right off the bat is you get the really nice window shades that are integrated into the door. I think more vehicles should offer those. And these seats are very easy to pick back up and put back in place. All right, let's hop inside of this Murano and see what the interior is all about. Okay, so as we enter this Murano, you can see the two-tone, actually there's like 3 or 4 tones going on here. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4, plus the accent tones around your door lock and your mirror controls, memory seats. This has a Bose sound system as well. You have your seat controls here, including your massaging seats, which is really nice, and that's a feature that comes on the Platinum package. Absolutely love the seats. These are beautiful. And these are their zero gravity seats developed with NASA technology. They are super, super comfortable seats. I've had an opportunity to sit in these for a while now, and just absolutely wonderful. They are heated and ventilated. It's starting to rain, so perfect timing to hop inside. All right, so you have two 12.5-inch displays. Gives you a ton of information that's accessible to you. I'm going to go ahead and start this vehicle up. I mean, check that out. Absolutely beautiful interior. Up here, you're going to have your dash cluster. And then this is going to be essentially where all your information related to speed, fuel economy, driving information, gear, RPMs, all of that will live. And you have the ability to change some of that information as well. So this has all-wheel drive, so you'll be able to kind of scroll through the system. The Platinum is going to come standard with all-wheel drive. You can get your navigation map on here as well, which is really nice. Your radio information. Then you can go through your settings for everything else. On this screen over here, you have the ability to see all your navigational stuff, more radio information, your phone pairing information. You can go home, and in your settings, which I don't know how to get to yet. This is the first time I've had a chance to mess with it. But what I want to see is the ability for you to control your lighting, because they were making a big deal about that. Interior light, ambient light. They said you have a ton of colors to choose from. So the ambient lighting is going to be around here. So that is kind of cool. I don't know if you can see it changing. So it's a really, really thin light that goes all the way around the vehicle. Watch when I change the color. It fades to the color that you select. That is really cool. And then you have more options. And it shows you up here specifically what's happening. A lot of colors. And they really stand out in a tasteful way. And they extend also to the back as well. So you can see it accented right there. It's really beautiful how they've done it. Plus, you have the accent color down here as well. Looking down the center stack, nice piano black finish here. Murano wording. All of this stuff appears to be capacitive, which it is. It's kind of interesting. It gives you just a little bit of a vibration feedback whenever you press the buttons. And then you can adjust your fan speed, recirculative air, all of that good information. Dual zone air conditioning. Wireless phone charging down here. 2 USB-C connections. Down here you have your push button transmission assist. Your drive modes right here, which lets you toggle through sport or standard or eco drive modes. You can turn the auto start stop feature off or on, and then you have your camera button right here, which if you press will give you your different camera views, and you have quite a few of them. So unlike the Armada, where you can just touch the screen and move the vehicle around, if you want to see different angles, you have to press the camera buttons right here, and it will take you to a different angle of the vehicle. But that is really cool because you're seeing so much information around the vehicle. Plus you have your 360-degree camera view, plus your forward facing. This gives you the ability to see your tires up front. You can see that. You can actually get really close to things. Whenever you're getting into a car wash or whenever you're going through a drive-through, this might give you information in terms of how much clearance you have before you hit a curb. Then you have your wide-angle front camera, which is actually really, really wide angle. It's actually viewing the building that's way over here all the way to that white Armada over there. So you're seeing so much width in this camera view. Plus, look at the building in front of us, which is pretty wide, and it only takes up a tiny little part of the camera. Plus, you have this kind of invisible see-through camera mode. It lets you kind of see through the engine compartment. So the whole point here is that you can see exactly where you're going or what you're traversing and what your tires are coming near. Don't know how often I would use that feature, but it's a pretty cool feature nonetheless. Then back to the 3D camera view. Very, very cool. A lot of really, really good information that they provide you through this infotainment system. From the steering wheel, you have all your controls here, all your cruise, your adaptive cruise controls, all of that good stuff. Plus, you have the ability to select the screen that you want to control with your functions. You see that? I press this one, it goes to this screen. I press this one, it goes to that screen. And then that's where you would make all of your controls right here if you want to scroll through different menu options or different things or go back. It does have paddle shifting as well if you feel sporty and you want to kind of have that sport enthusiast driving feel. Push button start also. And again, heated and ventilated seats. Bose sound system. They kept bragging about it, saying that I have to turn it up and crank it up. So I did it earlier, and it does sound absolutely fantastic. Up top, you do not have a camera rear view mirror. I like the fact that the Armada has a dash camera actually built in. So you can record what's going on out the front and the back. You can take snapshots. It has a G-force sensor in case it detects an impact or you jostle the vehicle or it struck, which is really cool, and it saves those files to an SD card that's upgradable. This one doesn't have the video rear view mirror, which I do wish it had. It does have sunroof, and this is a panoramic sunroof. So it is a dual pane panoramic sunroof. They do it a little different than some other manufacturers. This front pane is significantly smaller than the rear pane, whereas many manufacturers put equal size panes front and rear. That said, I'm not a big fan of sunroofs anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me, but it might matter to some folks. Then taking a look at that seat again, absolutely beautiful seat. Very, very comfortable. I don't know if I can actually say it's like a true zero gravity seat, but it sure as heck feels super comfortable. They should collaborate with GMC and Chevy on seats. Reasonable size center console area. And you have a good amount of rear seat room. I mean, it's the type of SUV that you could easily fit most families of 4. Even if you have children who are taller in the back, I don't think that they'd really have any problem. This is a 5-passenger SUV. And it's just a really, really nice, comfortable place to be honest with you. I'm pretty impressed with what they've done. It feels nice and luxurious. It feels nice and rich. Soft touch materials, nice stitching everywhere, heads-up display, 12.5-inch screen, another 12.5-inch screen, capacitive buttons down here that give you a nice feel whenever you press them. That's really nice. It's just set up in a great way. You have your volume control right here. They still gave you a knob for that. Plus you can seek forward or backward with an actual physical button right here, which is also really nice. Button for your camera. I love the fact that they give you quick access to your camera. Again, just a really, really good, convenient setup. On this side, you have your heated steering wheel. You have your power lift gate. I do not exactly know what that is, but that'll probably share some information with me somewhere. And then you also have your steering assist capability to turn on or off. This also has a Pro Pilot Assist feature. Pro Pilot Assist is essentially their form of assisted driving, which is really nice. Your parking brakes down here, and then your auto hold, which essentially means when you put the vehicle in park, it's going to automatically turn on the parking brake. Again, we already went over the memory seat function and all of that. But this is one heck of a nice SUV. They've done a fantastic job. The technology is perfect. They've included just the right amount. I do wish, though, it did have the camera rear view mirror. I do wish it had an integrated dash camera and rear view dash camera as well. Aside from that, there's not a heck of a lot that I could say is missing. I love the fact that there are power seats that are massaging. Just turned them on. I can adjust it to 3 different types of massage function. I can change the intensity. I can change the speed. And it's for both driver and passenger, which is really nice to have. Again, features that people are kind of expecting on luxury vehicles, but maybe not so much on kind of this mid-entry level luxury SUV crossover from Nissan. This is definitely a vehicle that has built a huge following. People that have Muranos typically are generational Murano owners. They buy the next one and the next one. And if you've been waiting for the new 2025 Murano to see what it's about, you've done a good job, because they've absolutely nailed it. They've done some really, really great things that I think are going to appeal to a lot of folks. Sure, you can talk to some folks about technology and how more technology leads to possibly more problems, or you can talk about how things are capacitive, or there's so many menu items that you have to scroll around. I get it. I totally do. But I think people are now looking for this technology when they're buying new cars. They expect it. Sure, it takes you probably a couple months to figure it all out, especially when you need to use it, to remember that you have a feature that is designed to be a luxury or convenience feature, and then actually using it. But at the end of the day, I think, again, this is what people are looking for. And Nissan is doing a great job keeping up with those trends and the technology that so many folks have been asking for with these newer vehicles. Anyways, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Is this a vehicle that you could see yourself owning? Even if you're an RVer, a lot of folks are going to ask if there's a tow mode if you want to flat tow this behind an RV. I did ask the engineers. They said that there is a neutral lockout mode, which can kind of do that, but they don't specifically have a tow mode in these vehicles. And that's probably because these are all-wheel drive. That's what my guess is. So my advice would be not to tow one of these behind a motorhome, but if you have a trailer or something you could put it on, these are relatively lightweight vehicles. They're not super large, and you might be able to get away with, you know, pulling one of these behind you as long as you put it on some type of a trailer or a platform that doesn't allow the wheels to spin. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.